If you're a senior on Social Security and disability benefits, pay attention. The projections for President Trump's Social Security increase, the cost of living adjustment for 2026 are out. I am going to share with you the details. But the big question that I've been asked is that going to be enough? I'm going to dive into the data and show you what price increases are affecting seniors and why the 2026 Social Security increase for retirement and disability benefits may not be enough to help seniors who are already struggling. My name is Kwame Kwade. I am a government benefits expert. For 15 years, I've been helping seniors get the retirement benefits they deserve. I create content on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and other personal finance issues that affect seniors. If you are new here, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Go into the comments and let me know your city and your state. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, welcome back. So let's dive into this breaking news and let's start with the data, because what I'm going to do is I am going to share with you the price increase data that I have investigated and gathered. And then we're going to compare it to the price increase that the president is proposing for next year for cost of living adjustment. And then we can decide whether that's going to be enough. I can tell you right now that I don't think the 2026 Social Security cost of living adjustment that is being projected right now, I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't even think it's halfway enough. So it means that more needs to be done to help seniors who are already struggling. By the way, this video is sponsored by our partners, Chapter Medicare. That's the number you see on the screen. They have helped over 2,000 of our members get into the right Medicare benefits, and I'll talk about that in a second. I'm also going to put their link in the comments and in the description of the video on how you too can get your benefits checked and make sure you're in the right program. So let me share my screen and walk you through what's happening with the latest breaking news about the Social Security cost of living adjustment. And then we can talk about whether this is going to be enough, given everything that we know today about price increases that seniors are facing. So this is CBS News announcing that the Social Security cost of living adjustment could be 2.7% in 2026. This is a new estimate, and it came out on August the 14th, so just a couple of days ago. And I've been tracking this to make sure that we stay on top of it. So it says Social Security beneficiaries could see a 2.7% cost of living adjustment next year, which is slightly more than the 2.5% boost U.S. retirees received this year. The new estimate comes from the Senior Citizens League, an advocacy group which posted its prediction on its website on Tuesday after the Bureau of Labor Statistics released its latest inflation figures. Also, AARP released their estimate from their experts, such as Mike Lynch, Managing Director of Applied Insight at Hartford Funds, who predicted a modest increase in line with the 2025 COLA. The Social Security cost of living adjustment is one of the things that seniors watch out for each year, and it is officially released in October, specifically October the 15th. So now we know what the projection is. So my question to you right away is, do you think that a 2.7% Social Security cost of living adjustment increase for 2026 is going to be enough? That is going in effect in January. Let me know in the comments whether you think it should be more. And if it should be more, what do you think should be the cost of living adjustment for 2026, given what you know about inflation right now? And let me share some inflation data with you that is also breaking news. That will give us some context to be able to then evaluate whether the cost of living adjustment that is being proposed is going to be enough. So I'm going to share with you, the first thing is electricity prices are through the roof. This is August the 16th, which is a few days ago, yesterday. And electricity prices are climbing more than twice as fast as inflation. If you're a senior citizen and you've seen electricity prices climb in your area, let me know in the comment section below how much you were paying and how much you are paying now. Because here in Maryland, our prices have gone up dramatically. And even our utility here, BGE, they are emailing and telling customers to apply for aid. They've created a fund and they are encouraging their customers to apply. Why? Because they know that the bills that they are sending to their customers are outrageous and ridiculous, and nobody can pay that. And so they've created this multi-million-dollar fund and are encouraging people to apply for financial aid towards their electricity bill. That is in Maryland. And I'm hearing those same stories across the country. So let's look at this story about electricity prices and let's talk about it. It says that Ken Thomas woke up this past Wednesday. This is in Florida. Ken Thomas woke up this past Wednesday to find the power had gone out at his house in Boca Raton. A text message, from his utility said a piece of equipment had failed at 2 a.m. By the time a repair crew showed up 8 hours later, the hot, sticky Florida summer had already taken its toll. Thomas has invested in energy-saving windows and insulation to keep his house comfortable, but in the heat of the summer, his power bill still tops $400 a month. It's painful to see the bill when it comes in, he says. Across the country, electricity prices have jumped more than twice as fast as the overall cost of living in the last year. That's especially painful during dog days of summer when air conditioners are working overtime. In Pembroke Pines, Florida, Alvi Salvi's power bill can reach $500 a month. Here's what she said. There is a lot of seniors down here that are living check to check. They can barely afford prescription, such as myself, said Salvi, who is 63 and uses a wheelchair. So this is the person we're talking about, who the story is being written about right now. And let's hear what he has to say. Now we got to decide whether we are going to pay the electric bill or we are going to buy medication. And it's not fair to us. You are squeezing us between a rock and a hard place. So this is the first couple that they were talking about whose electricity bill is $400 a month, even though they've done all this work to insulate their house and make it energy efficient. And this is the second person, age 63, who uses a wheelchair, who is getting $500 electricity bill a month. So let's give some context here. Okay, let's provide some context. If you are receiving Social Security benefits, okay, and your benefit is average, the average Social Security benefit is $1,900. You get $1,900 a month and your electricity bill is $500. Let's say you live alone, meaning that already you're being left with $1,400 and you haven't paid your rent yet. That is the situation that a lot of seniors are finding themselves in. That's why I wanted to have this conversation today, because there can be no delusion about what's happening. A $400, $500 electricity bill is not something that a lot of seniors can cover. So I want you to let me know in the comment section below, is this your experience? Have your electricity bill dramatically shot up? And how much were you paying and how much are you paying now? But let me read a little bit more of this story that is coming in here to give you a little more context about what's happening with electricity bills across the country. So earlier this year, the utility that serves both Thomas and Salvi, the Florida Power and Light, applied for a rate increase that would have boosted bills for a typical South Florida resident by as much as 13% over the next 4 years. The AARP launched a petition to oppose the rate hike and quickly gathered tens of thousands of signatures. And our members are pretty upset. AARP is Florida's Director of Advocacy. That's just another way people are getting nickel and dime out of being able to afford to live here in Florida. But they're talking about Florida, but I'm telling you, this is happening everywhere across the country, and electricity bills are just getting out of control. So that's just one thing. Now let's talk about food. Food prices have gone up and stayed up in a lot of places for a lot of goods, and people don't really realize, because when it comes to food, it's like electricity is one thing. Okay, electricity is one thing, and so we can all point to a percentage increase. Food is like little bits. Tomatoes go up here, egg prices go up here, milk prices go up here, beef. Right now, they're saying that ground beef is at an all-time high. Ground beef prices are at all-time high. So like you are like getting nickel and dime on little pieces, strawberries and this and that and that and apples and this. So you don't really see it, but when you add it all together, it's gigantic. So now let me give you another breaking news about food prices so that you can see that that is also where seniors are being squeezed again. So let me pull this up, and it talks about US producer prices. So here we go. Okay, I'm struggling to find it. Okay. There we go. All right. So this one is from Reuters, and there is a particular one that I want to show you that I think will be a good indication. Okay, there we go. So this is ABC News. So let me take this off and then bring that back. I'll talk about this Reuters report, but let's go to this breaking news from ABC News that will give you some color to what's happening. So here we are. If you can see this, this is mind blowing to me, and I'll give you a date on when this was published. This is August 16, 2025, yesterday. So this is breaking news, and I mean it when I say that. I don't use that term lightly. Are tariffs to blame for nearly 40% spike in wholesale vegetable prices? Experts weigh in. Forget about the tariffs, because I'm not going to get into politics, whether it's a good idea or not. I'm not going to get into that. What I know is what is in front of me. Producer, vegetable prices have gone up by 45%. So let's read it and understand it. So wholesale prices soared much faster than economists expected last month, stoking concerns among some economists about an eventual pass-through to consumer prices. The fresh government data this week showed an eye-popping 38% surge in wholesale prices of vegetables in July, the biggest price spike for any product category. A continual rise of this magnitude could noticeably hike vegetable prices at restaurants and grocery stores within a matter of months, some analysts predicted. The latest report comes as consumers await a possible burst of inflation as President Trump's tariffs take hold. Importers typically offset the tax burden in form of higher prices for shoppers. So why does vegetables have anything to do with tariffs? Well, when asked about whether the jump in vegetable prices had resulted from tariffs, analysts track wholesale vegetable prices often fluctuate from month to month. They said, pointing to an array of explanations. So there's a lot of things going on, but the central point is that wholesale vegetable prices have gone up by a whopping 40%. So when you go to your grocery store and you are seeing that vegetable prices are up, maybe pay attention, because as I said, when it comes to groceries, unless you are super dialed in, you don't really see the minute increases that are happening, because it's not like one thing like electricity or rent or car insurance. It is a combination of so many little things that you buy together to make groceries, and you know that your grocery prices have gone up, but you're not isolating individual things to see until you begin to see things like egg prices have gone up, this has gone up, this has gone up, this has gone up. But that's the second evidence I want to show you right now that something is off. And then the third evidence I want to show you is a tracker. CBS has a tracker of prices that they've been watching for a while now, and I want to show you what their tracker is showing in specific areas. So they have this thing that is just there. Anybody has, if you go to their website, you can even look at it. So it's not something that is a secret. It's out there. It's public information. They're just looking at prices of goods and how they are rising across different categories. So let me show you what's happening here. So I'm going to go to their price tracker. So let's talk about food. Food is the first one here. So let's look at it. And as you can see, the duration, food prices are at 17% high as of July And you can see even 2025 when we started, it's been going up. Obviously, it started from 2022, but it has been going all the way up, as you can see right there. So that's food prices. So if you go into the grocery store and your food prices are up, you are not alone. The data is showing that that's what's happening. And I want to know in the comments, guys. I know I'm speaking a lot. I'm providing you all this data because I've done the research and I'm bringing it to you. But I want to hear from you and your own experience. What is happening in your own experience? Are you seeing prices of food go up? Are you seeing prices of, electricity go up? What about medical care? Well, I can tell you right now, according to the CBS tracker, let's look at medical care right here. And you can see that has also been jumping very high. There are two things they're tracking there. You see physician services. Look at that jump. Look at dental services. Everything is up when it comes to medical care. And then maybe we can take a look at, how about insurance? You look at car insurance, a whopping 56% increase since 2022. 56% increase in car insurance since 2022. Now, the question is, where else are seniors feeling the pinch? Well, I can tell you it comes in Medicare. And there's more breaking news there. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm trying to give you the evidence. And then we're going to talk about the COLA, cost of living adjustment for 2026. And then we're collectively going to make a decision of whether we think a 2.7% increase in Social Security cost of living is enough. Because if you look at what's happening with price increases, let's look at Medicare. This is Kiplinger. And they are saying that brace for higher health costs in 2026 and look at projected Medicare premiums. Well, in 2026, Medicare participants will pay more for their healthcare. Part B, which is deducted from your Social Security check, are expected to rise more than 10%. Well, let's read some more. Medicare premiums and deductibles typically increase annually. Part B, premiums are expected to rise 11% in 2026. By the way, since we're talking about Medicare, I want to make sure that you know about our friends at Chapter Medicare. If you are paying more in Medicare than you should be paying, you should call Chapter or fill out the form in our description. They are going to look at your Medicare plan and see if you're in the right plan. If you're not, they will get you in the right plan and they can save you $1,100 a year. And I've been talking about price increases. Any money you can save on Medicare is worth it. And these guys are not biased. They're not there to sell you anything. They are not pushing any particular plan. That's why we work with them. So call Chapter Medicare today or fill out the form in our description to this video. I'll put it in the link in the comments also, and they will help you get into a better Medicare plan. There is nothing worse than needing Medicare that you've paid and earned and realize that you are in the wrong plan, and so you cannot get the service that you need. Chapter is there to help you do that. And 2,000 of you have already called them and gotten help from our recommendation. So if you haven't gotten your Medicare plan looked at, now is the time, because you can save on average $1,100 a year. And every dollar is helpful. So I want to make sure that I tell you that. Now, I want to go back and read some more about this Medicare issue because I think it's at the heart of what's happening this year. So we are looking at 11.6% increase, nearly double the 6% increase in 2025. Guys, I am not here to cause you doom and gloom. I'm here to keep you informed so that you have no illusion about what's happening, so that when the politicians come in and are sweet talking us and telling us all the things that they are doing and all the things that they are planning to do to help us, how about they focus on fixing some of these issues? Because last year, Medicare Part B premiums went up by almost 5%, And then this year is supposed to go up about 11%. And that's what I'm reading right now is saying. It says Part B premiums are expected to rise by 11.6% in 2026, nearly double the 6% jump in 2025, according to the 2025 Social Security and Medicare Trustees report. So this is the government's own report that is saying that you should expect an 11.6% rise in your Medicare Part B premium. The report projects $206 monthly premium for next year, up by $21. So think about it. You're getting a $21 increase in your Medicare Part B premium. And then at the same time, they're going to give you about a 40 to 50%, $50 increase in Social Security. So out of the gate, half of your monthly increase is going to be consumed by the ridiculous increase in Medicare Part B premium that's coming. So they give you one hand with one hand and then they take with another hand. And why is that important? Because I have already talked about how much prices have increased. And so if you're going to get a tiny Social Security increase, which I have shared with you, this is what is being projected for next year. According to breaking news that just came in, cost of living adjustment for next year is projected to be 2.7%. That is about a 40 something to $50 increase a month for the average senior citizen. And so if you're getting that kind of money, why is your Medicare Part B premium going up by 11.6%? The same government that is saying that inflation is down, and so we should accept a 2.7% COLA increase, is then using the other side of their mouth to say that they're going to charge you 11.7% increase in Medicare Part B premium. So you can see how the two don't mix and how that is mixed messaging, because how is it that they can charge 11.6% for Medicare Part B premium but give you a 2.7% increase in Social Security? It means that they are telling you that they know that prices have been going up in certain areas, but your Social Security check is not reflecting that. That is the main point I am trying to make. So let's talk about it. I want to hear from you in the comment section below. What do you think the Social Security cost of living adjustment should be in 2026? What percentage do you think it should be, or what dollar amount? Knowing that you're going to get a $20, $21 increase in your Medicare Part B premium, how much do you think your Social Security should go up to make up for all the price increases that we are talking about? I want to have a discussion about that in the comment section, and I'm going to review that and talk about it, because I think it's important, because very soon the government is going to announce on October 15th what the Social Security cost of living adjustment is going to be. And with the projections usually are pretty accurate. And so if we're going to make any noise, the noise has to start now, where you're telling your politicians that 2.7% is not going to cut it. Because here is something that you don't know, and I shared in the last couple of months, but I'll bring it up again. So there is a fact that is undeniable, that Social Security cost of living adjustment have not kept up with inflation. By the way, Social Security turns 90 years old last week. I hope you knew that. And that is a pretty remarkable birthday for Social Security. And one of the things I've always said is that we are about whatever is going to help Social Security get strengthened and to be protected for the long haul. So we released a new shirt, which I wore last week on the day Social Security turned 90. So it says, "We need Social Security." That's the new shirt that we released. And then we also released a mug, which is here. It's the same thing. It says, "We need Social Security." And it's one of my favorite mugs now. It says, "We need Social Security, protect it strengthen it. So that's what we released for the 90th birthday of Social Security. A shirt that says we need Social Security and a mug. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Social Security benefits have not kept up with inflation for a while now. And if you felt that way, you are not alone, because there's data now that is confirming what you've been feeling. I'm going to share that with you in a second. So this is an analysis that was done by the Senior Citizens League, the same group that is projecting the 2.7% COLA increase in 2026. They did an analysis to look at Social Security cost of living adjustment. And let me see here if these guys are gonna allow me to look at this. This was released by the Austin Statesman. I think they are trying to make me sign in. Oh, there we go. So what they said was that I'll deal with that. But what they are saying is that based on how much Social Security has fallen behind with inflation over the last 15 years, if they calculated how much money the government owes you, it goes to $370. So they went and did the math and looked at what inflation truly is and what your Social Security adjustment is. And they look at data over the last 15 years. And they're saying, as of today, 2025, the US government owes all seniors on Social Security and disability $370 just to catch you up to the money that you deserve that wasn't given to you because your Social Security increase did not match inflation at the time. And so that news, or that particular issue, is now going to continue, because now we are looking at a 2.7% cost of living adjustment that's coming up, according to the breaking news that I just shared with you, which is this. And then they turn around, and then the same government that is telling you that they're going to give you, based on this projection, a 2.7% increase, is turning around and handing you an 11.6% increase in your Medicare Part B premium, according to Kiplinger. And this was released just a few days ago. And it says that the premium for Medicare Part D is different from Part B premiums. Unlike Part B, Part D is sold by private companies as a standalone policy for those enrolled in traditional Medicare. So you are not just being charged for Part B, you also have to pay for Part D drug coverage, and that is also supposed to go up. So everything is going up except your Social Security increase, which was 2.5% this year and is projected to be 2.7% next year. So let me go into the comment section and see what you guys are saying, and let's talk about that. So here is let me pull that up. So here is Mercy Page. 10% should be a good increase. I agree. Melba Weber is saying 15%. I mean, given how much things are going up, I agree. Charles Clemens is saying 10%. And what I also want to know is, what is the biggest increase that have happened for you? Is it electricity? Is it food? What part of your budget has gone up? Here is Naomi. Thank you for the video. We should be getting 10%, Oregon, and so forth and so on. And I think that, if you really look at prices just this year, the idea that they are going to bring in a 2.7% increase is laughable. I think it's a joke. But more importantly, the Medicare part is what is troubling for me, because the same government that is telling you to accept a 2.7% increase in your Social Security benefits is the same government that is telling you to then accept an 11% increase in your Medicare premium. We are living in the same country. We are facing the same cost. So if Medicare is going up by 11%, why is Social Security going up by only 2.7%? That is the part that I don't understand. Some of you may have a better explanation. If you do, let me know in the comment section below. And then let's see, CC, if they are going to 11 to 12%, then we should also get at least 200 increase. I agree. Whatever happened to the 200 extra per month that we never received? Well, what the 200 per month, and let me bring this up. The 200 per month you're talking about is part of the Social Security Expansion Act. And let me give you an update about that. So the Social Security Expansion Act is legislation that has been proposed both in the Senate and in the House, and is supposed to do five things. Five things. One of them is to give you a $200 Social Security increase. What is the status of that right now? The bill is in the House, and I can share with you because I have it. So this is the bill. Let me pull it up, because I want to make sure I answer your question, because when I say something, I want to make sure that I back it up. So there is a Social Security Expansion Act bill that is in the Congress. It is in the, as you can see, 119th Congress. So it's a bill that is in the House of Representatives, and it's also in the Senate. So it's a bill. It has a name, and it does five things. One of them is to give everybody a $2,400 Social Security increase. That is $200 extra a month. If you're getting a low benefit, if you're in the low side of Social Security benefit, you are also supposed to get a $600 increase, or bump you to 19,000, which is 125% of the federal poverty level. That is the second thing the bill is supposed to do. The third thing is to fix Social Security for the future by raising the cap to 250,000 for Social Security taxes. And the fourth thing is to fix COLA. So this particular bill that I'm sharing with you, the Social Security Expansion Act, is supposed to fix how COLA is calculated, so that you are no longer getting these tiny cost of living adjustments, but you're going to get adjustments that are realistic to the cost and living expenses that seniors particularly face. So that bill is still there in the 119th Congress. It has a bipartisan support both in the House and the Senate. The question is, it needs more people to get it to the finish line. So how is that going to happen? Well, it is the same discussions that we're having at town hall meetings, where your congressperson comes in and you ask them a question, how are they going to save Social Security? And they're going to dance around the question. You can point them to the Social Security Expansion Act, because it is the only bill right now that is in both in the House and the Senate with bipartisan support that is likely to fix Social Security for the long haul, give everybody a $200 a month raise, give people who are getting the minimum benefit and are living in poverty on Social Security, lift them out of poverty, and put you at 125% of the federal poverty level. So I have been doing this for 15 years. The Social Security Expansion Act is the best I have seen in terms of a bill that actually helps low-income seniors on Social Security. Everything else tends to cater to the rich and the middle class. This is the only bill that I see that low-income seniors on Social Security and disability actually get real relief. And so it is something that I promote a lot. It is something that I talk about a lot, because I think that if you look at the big, beautiful bill and what it did not help seniors on low income. That's a fact. I'm not knocking, I am not against the big, beautiful bill. I think it helped a lot of people, but it did not help low income seniors. And I think this bill, the Social Security Expansion Act, does that. Now, if you are interested in digging deeper into a lot of these things that I talked about on this post and a lot of things I talk about here, I'm going to go into the comment section for a second. Then consider joining my new community. I formed a community online. It's on the school platform, and it's supposed to help us dig deeper into some of these topics. And So far, almost 100 of you have joined that community, and these are some of the topics that I'm going to be covering. I go live on that community regularly. I have a ton of resources that I have shared there that are free to you. All the guides that we've created that we're selling are going to be available to you for free. It is called the Benefits Insider Circle. It is a community for seniors 55 plus that wants to, connect with other people and get more help from me and my team and be part of a community that helps you unlock every dollar, every discount, and every advantage that you deserve. So here's the link to that. I'm going to drop it in the comment section below and in the description to this post. As I said, almost 100 people have already joined and are seeing the benefits of being part of a community of like-minded people who are trying to get to the same place, which is maximize your benefit, stay on top of news and updates, and get every dollar advantage that you deserve with your Social Security and disability benefits. So take a look at it and see if it's for you. So lastly, I'm going to go into the comment section and read some of the comments that you guys have. Need to explain as all still confused on Social Security taxes. Charles Clemens, for those who pay taxes, just get a tax break based on tax income. So if you're talking about if you're talking about the big beautiful bill, yes, it is benefiting people who have taxable income that are able to then benefit from the tax deduction. If I'm to simplify that, if you make more than $23,750 in Social Security or other income, then you are eligible for the Big Beautiful Bill tax deduction. If you make less than $23,000 in income, that Big Beautiful Bill does not help you at all because it is a tax deduction and you have to have taxable income in order to be able to benefit from that tax deduction. And then let me look at some comments. Doesn't matter if they go on our payment. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Well, that is definitely true. We are the wealthiest country in the world, and a high number of us are living in poverty. So this is an issue that is very, very dear to me because I have always said this. If you've been watching my videos for a long time, you know how I feel about this. I have always said that no senior citizen who has paid into Social Security, worked their entire life, and paid into the system and did what they were told to do, played by the rules, should be living in poverty. That is a shame. And that's why I am passionate about the Social Security Expansion Act, because I think that it addresses this issue in a meaningful and permanent way. So let me share a little bit more information about that. You know, I think I lost my live for a second. I clicked on something and then I disappeared. So sorry about that. That was a technical glitch. But I wanted to share with you what was happening with the Social Security Expansion Act and address the issue that who was talking about. Somebody was talking about that got me on that tangent. So yes, here it is. So this is Judy. We are the wealthiest country in the world, and a high number of us are living in poverty levels. So that's true. And the Social Security Expansion Act is supposed to help with that. And I'm going to share with you where exactly it says that so that you are informed about that. So this is a summary of the Social Security Expansion Act. And here, right here, uh, here's where it helps seniors. So number one, it's going to help improve the minimum benefit. I'm going to read that to you. It says that It's going to improve the special minimum benefit for Social Security recipient. This bill would help low-income workers stay out of poverty by increasing the special minimum benefit and indexing that benefit level so that it is equal to 125% of the federal poverty line, or over 18,000 when this was written. But right now, 125% of the federal poverty level is about $19,000. So that is one of the things that this Social Security Expansion Act does. The other thing which I shared with you is here, the $200 that somebody was asking about. It will expand Social Security benefits across the board for current and future beneficiaries. Under this bill, Social Security beneficiaries will get a $2,400 increase. So that is another thing that the Social Security Expansion Act is going to do. That is why I've always said that, in my opinion, that is the best thing I have seen, a bill currently in Congress that addresses or helps low-income seniors. So, guys, if you have any other questions, let me know in the comment section below. I am going to put the link to my new community in the comments. And as I always said, if you are struggling with Medicare and don't know what to do, or you don't feel you're in the best plan, give Chapter a call. I'm going to put their form also in the comments. Fill it out. It's a very short form, 1 minute. Fill it out, and they will reach out to you and then show you where your plan stacks up. And if you are not in the best plan, which you should be, then they'll help you get a plan that fits your needs and your budget. So I am glad you guys joined me on this Sunday, August the 17th. I'll be back tomorrow with another live and another breaking news. Until then, if you have any questions at all about anything I've covered today, hit me up in the comments. If you like what you heard, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I always appreciate your support, and I always enjoy hanging out with you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.